Okay, so today we are going to solve this question in which we have to find the domain of this real function. The function is given by fx is equal to under root log base 0.5 minus x square plus x plus 6 plus 1 upon x square plus 2x. We have to find the domain of this function, and this is a real function. Real function means that the values which we are going to take as an input, those values will be real, and the values which this function will return, or we can say it will give as a part of range, those values are also going to be real. So this function is a real function, it is not a complex function. Okay, because this needs to be made very clear in the starting only, because same function, if we define this same function as a complex function, then its domain will be completely different. Okay, so this is a real function. Okay, so we have to find the domain of this real function, and for that, for finding the domain, we always think about the condition at which the given function is defined. So we can clearly notice that there are three conditions for this function fx to be defined. The first condition over here is that this denominator x square plus 2x, it must not be equal to 0. It must not be equal to 0. Why? Because if this denominator becomes equal to 0, then this fraction will be undefined, and if this fraction becomes undefined, then our function will also be undefined. Okay, so this denominator x square plus 2x, it must not be equal to 0. This is the first condition for this function fx to be defined. Now comes the second condition. We know that whenever log is there, then inside the log the expression must be always greater than 0. Okay, so for log base 0.5 minus x square plus x plus 6 to be defined, the second condition must be for this log to be defined, minus x square plus x plus 6 minus x square plus x plus 6, it must be greater than 0. Okay, so this is the second condition. Now comes the third condition, because under root is also present over here. We know that square root is only defined when the expression inside the square root, this log base 0.5 minus x square plus x plus 6, is greater than equal to 0. So this is the third condition. Otherwise under root will not be defined. Okay, so for square root to be defined, log base 0.5 minus x square plus x plus 6 must be greater than or equal to 0. So we have these three conditions. Okay, so we will be solving for all these three conditions, and at the end we are going to combine the result which we are going to obtain from all these three conditions. Okay, so one by one I will be solving all these three conditions, and at the end I will combine the result of all these three conditions. Okay, so for condition 1, the condition 1 is that x square plus 2x is not equal to 0. It must not be equal to 0, because if that becomes equal to 0, then denominator will be equal to 0, and if denominator becomes equal to 0, then we know that the function will be undefined. Okay, so x square plus 2x must not be equal to 0, and that means x into x plus 2 must not be equal to 0. And that means x must not be equal to 0 and x must not be equal to minus 2, right? So this is the first condition that needs to be care of. Okay, and then we come to condition 2. For condition 2 says that this log base 0.5 will be defined if and only if minus x square plus x plus 6 is greater than 0. It cannot be equal to 0 as well. Okay, so it must be strictly greater than 0. So minus x square plus x plus 6 is strictly greater than 0. Okay, that means x square minus x minus 6 is strictly less than 0. I have transferred all these terms to the right hand side, and on the right hand side the sign of inequality will be less than. And after factorizing this, I can factorize this by writing x square by splitting the middle term. We want the product of minus 6 and we want the second term as minus x. That means it can be factorized very easily in this way. So now we can see that this quadratic inequation has been factorized to these two linear factors. Okay. So now to solve this quadratic inequation, I am going to draw a number line, and on that, as usually, we solve this quadratic inequation in this way. I am going to write the two zeros here. What are the two zeros? The first zero is minus 2 and the other zero is 3. Now plus minus plus, and since the sign of inequality is of less than, that means I have to take this region, minus region. Okay, we all know that. We have studied those stuff in quadratic inequation chapter. Okay, so that means x must belong to minus 2 till 3. Okay, so this is the result of second condition. We were solving the second one. So till now we have seen that x must not be equal to 0 and minus 2, and x must be belonging in this set, minus 2 till 3. Okay. Now I will be solving for the third and the last condition. The third and the last condition was that this square root will be defined if and only if when log base 0.5 minus x square plus x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so I will be solving for that. Let us keep these conditions with us, otherwise we will not be able to find the final answer, because at the end we need to combine all the three answers, all the three conditions. Okay, so I will be writing these two conditions which I have obtained somewhere, and then I will be solving those. So x must not be equal to 0 and minus 2. This was the first one, and x must be belonging to minus 2 till 3. This is the second condition. Now coming to the third condition. The third condition says that I am going to rub this condition 1 and condition 2 as well, because now the only condition which is left is condition 3. So the condition 3 is saying to us that this log base 0.5 minus x square plus x plus 6 is greater than equal to 0. Okay, so that means when we remove log from one side, I am going to remove this log from one side, and when we do that, when we remove the log, then this base 0.5, it will become the base of the power on the right hand side, and this thing will remain here. Okay, we all know that we have studied logs in classes 9th and 10th, and we need to have some background in logs before studying these relations and functions. Okay, so we know that whenever we remove this log, then on the right hand side we transfer this base and it becomes the base of the power. Okay, and this number which is going on the right hand side, it becomes the power. Okay, and now the second important thing which I am going to do over here is that since this sign is of greater than or equal to, right, and the base is less than 1, this base, the base of the log 0.5 is less than 1 actually. So when it has been transferred to the right hand side, as the property of log says. So when this base is less than 1, then we have to reverse the sign of inequality when we transfer that base. If this base would have been 5 greater than 1 or 7 greater than 1, then the sign will remain same. Okay, this is the property of log, which I hope that you all would have been knowing, and if you don't know, then today is that day when you have come to know this very important property of log. The property says that whenever the base of the log is less than 1 and we are transferring this base to the right hand side, then we must reverse the sign of the inequality if an inequality is going on, because if equality is going on, then equality sign can never be reversed. Okay, that is absurd actually. So now we have to solve this again, and then we have to combine this condition 3 with these two conditions, and then we will be coming to our final answer, that what is the domain of this fx. Now I am going to solve this. Again I am going to transfer all these terms to the right hand side. After transferring these terms to the right hand side, I can say that x square minus x, because these two terms were minus, one term was minus, x square was minus, so when it will be transferred to the right hand side, it will become plus. So no need to mention that, and it will be minus 1. Okay, and from that hand side, from the right hand side, the inequality sign will be greater than. Okay, when these terms will be transferred to the right hand side, the inequality sign will be greater than. And how come minus 1 has come here? Because 0.5 raised to the power 0 becomes 1, and 1 minus 6 becomes minus 5. Sorry, it will be minus 5. Okay. Now I will have to solve this quadratic inequation, but the discriminant of this quadratic equation, if suppose that this is a quadratic equation, the discriminant is going to come 21, which is non-perfect square. So that means I am not going to get the rational roots. Just like as in condition 2, I factorize the given quadratic equation, very easily, because the discriminant over here was, if you calculate the discriminant, it will be 25, which is a perfect square, right? But here it is not a perfect square. The discriminant is not a perfect square. That means I will have to use some different method. The splitting method will not work over here actually. Okay, so I have to use some different method to solve this quadratic inequation. And what is that method? Let us see. Whenever we solve these kinds of quadratic inequations, we first of all write x. Okay, we write x, and then we divide the coefficient of x by 2. We divide the coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x? Minus 1. We divide it by 2. It will become minus 1 by 2. And then we square it. Okay, first of all write x, then divide the coefficient of x with 2. It becomes 1 by 2. And then you have to square this x minus 1 by 2. Why? Because when you will expand this x minus 1 by 2 whole raised to the power 2, you will be getting these two terms. If you use the identity a minus b whole raised to the power 2, you will get a square, which means x square, minus 2ab, which means minus x, because minus 2 into x into 1 by 2. 2 and 2 will cancel out, and you will be getting minus x. But you will be getting an extra term as well. What is that extra term? That extra term is 1 by 4 plus b square. When you will be expanding this square, you will be getting an extra 1 by 4. And 1 by 4 was not present here. So to balance that, you have to subtract minus 1 by 4. So to balance that, you have to subtract 1 by 4. Now you can write it x minus 1 by 2 whole raised to the power 2 minus 21 by 4 is greater than equal to 0. That means x minus 1 by 2 whole raised to the power 2 minus under root 21, because I have to convert this in the form of a square minus b square, only then I can solve that. So for converting that, I am writing this root 21 by 2 whole square. Okay, so this is our a and this is our b. Now what if we actually write these values in decimals? Because 1 by 2 being 0.5 minus. What is the value of root 21? Value of root 21. Approximately it will be somewhere in between 4 and 5, because 21 is in between 16 and 25. So this value will be 4 point something. And we know that 4.5 raised to the power 2 is equal to 20.25, right? Because 45 square is 2025. We know that. So 4.5 square is equal to 20.25. That means it is slightly more than 4.5, Because 4.6 raised to the power 2 will be what? Let us calculate, let us do some calculations. 4.6 raised to the power 2 will be what? 46 raised to the power 2. Actually, I want to calculate the square root of 21, right? We can use the long division method as well, but I am going to take an approximate value because it will not make, basically the concept is important and the methods are important, not the value root 21. We all know how to calculate that. Just for saving some time, I am taking an approximate value. I am going to take the approximate value as let's take 4.58. Okay, so 4.58 means this is 4.58 divided by 2. It becomes 2.29, right? 2.29 whole raised to the power 2. So this will become a square minus b square, which means a plus b, a minus b is greater than equal to 0. This means x plus, here it will be 9 and here it will be 7, okay, and then it will be 1.79 and here it will be x minus 2.79 is greater than equal to 0. Now I have approximately factorized this quadratic inequation in this form. Let's calculate it further and then combine all the three conditions and get a final result. Okay. So for this quadratic inequation, I will again draw a number line. The first root is minus 1.79. What is the other root? 2.79. Again, plus, minus, plus. The sign is of greater than. That means I have to take the positive region. And the positive region here means minus infinity till minus 1.79. Okay. Union 2.79 till infinity. So this is the result of the third condition. Now I have to combine the third condition's result with the result of condition 1 and 2. Now to combine the conditions, we can see that x cannot take any value less than minus 2. Okay, it cannot take any value less than minus 2 because the second condition is saying so. And here it is taking less value than minus 2. So combining these two conditions, we will get minus 2 till minus 1.79. I have written minus 2 till minus 1.79. Why? Because x cannot take any value less than minus 2. So I have restricted my input x till minus 2 only. And this condition was saying that it cannot take value greater than minus 1.79. Okay, this condition is saying it cannot take value greater than minus 1.79. So I have combined these two conditions and this is my conclusion for the negative values only. Okay, because these were the negative values. Now I have to combine this condition with this one. That is saying that x cannot be greater than 3. That condition is saying that x cannot be greater than 3. And this condition is saying that x must be greater than 2.79. This condition is saying that x must be greater than 2.79. That means x can be in between 2.79 and 3. And it must not be equal to 0 as well. So 0 is coming nowhere. Neither it will come here. 0 is not coming in between these values and 0 is not coming in between these values as well. Okay, and it must not be equal to minus 2 as well. I am combining the first condition now. So minus 2 is not being included because this is open. Okay, this is an open interval and minus 2 is not being included here also. So this is the final result of our all the conditions. So this becomes the domain of the given function. Okay, after combining all the three conditions. So this is our final answer. which means that I can take any value in between these two sets, and it will be kept in this function. So this function will return us a valid real value to us after calculating that, and that will be part of range. Okay, so basically this becomes the domain of the given function. Okay, thank you.